why so much divide, men against women, gay against straight, the ideas of young against old, black against white? Is this a coincidence?
No, it is the core of Marxism. They need to divide people. In China, they divide us by class. The haves were the enemy, the have-nots, the allies. And then they eventually made it into red class versus black class. Everyone has identity. We have an enemy, and we need to fight against the enemy. And the enemy keep changing. They put different people in different time into that category. So there's always an enemy. And that is how Marxists and communists control people. Here in America, they still divide us by class, like Bernie Sanders, that's what he does. But there's more ways to divide America, and race, gender, sexuality. They will go on. And they will go on finding different ways to divide people. When people understand this, they understand why there's all this continue to come up with new crazy ideas. It's by design. And the goal is always the same: divide, conquer. And when they control us, and then they have power over us. That's very important to understand.
How about these riots that we're seeing? Today is the Oscar Awards here in Los Angeles, and there are demonstrations. 4 years ago, there were demonstrations. It was an election year. Now it's another election year. Of course, this year, unlike police overreach, this year the cause is outrage on Democrats' Middle East policy.
I call it Hamas, yeah. They always need to have chaos. And that's what Mao said. Mao said we should have chaos every 7-8 years. Only when you have chaos, you can bring out a new order. Mao had that figured out a long time ago. So
You can bring out a new what?
Order.
Order.
Oh. What kind of new order? That we know now. They already showed us what the order they want. The order is the ideology. Now we know it's woke ideology. They push on us, and we have to comply. We have to conform. And so they create, if you don't, you're going to see chaos. You're going to see that there's no security anywhere, and then you beg for protection. And the government will impose a new order over us. And that new order is always less freedom. You can see that. You can see this. You can't do that. You can do this. Control. Remember, the game is divide, conquer, and control. That is the nature of the game.
Well, in 2020, they used the medical necessity to control people, and of course to force mail-in ballots. Do you think they might be doing the same thing here in 2024?
They will do whatever to have control of the outcome that they want. And the tactic change, but the goal is always the same. And they have proven to be so persistent and creative. And they are going to do anything. And the issue is never the issue. The issue is power. So they will find another problem. They're going to have another demonstration. They're going to have another chaos, another riot. But the goal is always the same: power.
How about the role of the media? Nowadays we see the media has seemed to have lost their bearings in terms of impartiality and objectivity. Does the Democrat Party control or influence, or the Democrats who work in the media now feel like they're serving a greater purpose? What's happening politically?
That's another thing I'm trying to tell people. A lot of Americans have no reference. They just feel like this is happening, they have no control over, and then a lot of them just accept it. But once you know what happened in a communist country and how the Communist Party controlled the narrative, control the media, control the entertainment, control the educational system, you understand. There is no free media here in America anymore. And mainstream or corporate media, they're all controlled by a group of people. and I call them globalists. And so they control everything. We no longer have free press, just as in CCP's China.
Perhaps with the exception of the Epoch Times?
Yeah, there's a few exceptions. You're right. Even Fox, Fox is controlled. Their narrative is controlled. They use the left vocabulary. They use the left narrative. So we're confined. We're playing their game. Yes, there are few, but we need more. We don't have control of a big media, but if we have a lot of small media, we can also get the message out. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm just one person, but I'm so glad my message is getting out, that I was invited here to speak to this group of people. That's how we get it out, little by little. We don't have big media speaking for us. We just do it ourselves.
What do you think of Epoch TV or NTD News?
Yeah, that's a blessing that we have them. And we need more. It's just not enough. We need more.
What about the book that you're promoting now? It's been published and people can see some interviews with you online about it.
Yes, I wrote this book because I realized my little interview here, there, or a speech here, there is just not enough. I have to lay it out in a book. So please get my book. The title is Mao's America, a survivor's warning. I laid out the parallels.
Mao's, M-A-O-S?
Yeah, Mao.
Mao's
America. And people need to know who this guy is. It's important because it's so relevant to what's going on today. Mao Zedong was the dictator.
Right.
And Maoism is extreme version of Marxism. And now we have Western Maoism. The wokeism is Maoism. So it's important that we understand. Please get my book, and once you read it, you will be awakened.
Yeah.
That's important.
Yeah. Is it a coincidence also that the CCP benefits of solar power, car batteries, and the long-term business connections between China and the Biden Democrat White House? You think the policies are being done essentially to appease somehow or to benefit China more than America?
This is what I say. Nowadays, and Democratic Party has proved themselves to be a communist party. And anything they do, any motive they have, is questionable. It's the same thing. Anything we get from CCP, we have to question their motive. They have one goal: destruction of America.
And do you mean the physical destruction necessarily?
Both spiritually and physically, because they share the same enemy, that is America. And those people that are working against America, inside America, they're traitors. They absolutely make everything possible for the CCP to push their TikTok, to buy our farmland, to buy our institutions, educational institutions, to buy our politicians. It's all made possible because we have traitors within.
And you think they're bought off, or are they ideologues who happen to agree with communism because they're the elite?
Both. They absolutely are communists themselves. When I say communists, people probably have a hard time to understand.
Yeah.
There's no real communists. There's no communists that pushing a communist ideal world. They all use the communist tactics because they work. They prove to be working for what? For power. So it's tactics. They share the ideology because the ideology is useful for them.
Yeah. Do you feel that we're in a revolution in America today?
We're deep into the revolution. The revolution was launched against America in the 60s. And counterculture is America's first phase of cultural revolution. And now it's the second phase. Yeah, the war has declared on us, we just don't know. We just don't know because the conservatives are asleep. The Americans are not being informed. That's why we find ourselves in that dire situation. It is time to wake up, and it's time to fight back.
Who's leading the opposition, though? Are the Republicans, or where can people turn to help defend against this cultural revolution in America?
It's parents, it's people who are awakened. It's people like me that I never thought I would get involved politically, but we see what's happening, and we can't depend on a superhero to save us. It depends on all of us, parents, and the people, citizens, ordinary people. This, and especially immigrants. I ask immigrants who lived under communism, speak up, share our stories, wake up more people. It is the Americans who can save America. Only American people who can save America.
And we should listen more to the voices of people who lived under communism.
Absolutely. And we have a duty to share our stories.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.